A motorcycle is standing upright in an empty parking lot. No kickstand, no rider, just the bike, motionless, balanced on two wheels like it's defying physics. That's the Davinci DC-100, a Chinese electric motorcycle with a self-balancing system borrowed from robotics. It stays upright by itself. The rider walks away and the bike doesn't fall. It exists, it's real, and it costs $4,000. A Ducati Panigale with similar performance costs over $25,000. This is the Davinci DC-100. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Ducati should be paying attention. The motorcycle market has been static for decades. European brands dominate the premium segment: Ducati, BMW, Triumph. They compete on heritage, sound, and the theater of combustion. Electric motorcycles exist, but they've been niche, expensive, and limited in range. Zero Motorcycles builds excellent bikes that cost more than most cars. Harley-Davidson's Livewire launched at $30,000 with slow sales. China looked at that problem and asked differently. What if you ignored heritage and built the bike like a robot? That's what Davinci Motor did, and the result humiliated the price-to-performance ratio every European brand relies on. The Davinci DC-100 looks like something from a science fiction film. Sharp angles, minimal bodywork, carbon fiber monocoque chassis weighing less than most motorcycle fuel tanks. 100 kilowatts of power, 134 horsepower, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3 seconds. Top speed is 200 kilometers per hour. The 17.7 kilowatt-hour battery provides 250 kilometers range in city riding, 150 on highway. The self-balancing system uses 6-axis gyroscope sensors feeding data to the motor controller 50 times per second. When the bike detects tilt, the rear wheel makes micro-adjustments to keep it upright. You can park it, walk away, and it stays vertical. That's robotics-grade stability control applied to a two-wheeled vehicle. The whole package costs $4,000 in China. A Ducati Panigale V2 offers 955 cubic centimeters, 155 horsepower, 0 to 100 in 3.1 seconds. Top speed, 245 kilometers per hour, and wet weight of 200 kilograms. The Davinci weighs 180. The Panigale costs $25,000 in the United States, 28,000 euros in Europe. The DC-100 costs $4,000 in China, even doubled for export. It's still half a Ducati's price with minimal performance gap. Ducati's advantage is heritage, brand cachet, and V-twin sound. The Davinci has none of that. What it has is a carbon fiber chassis, self-balancing system, and pricing that makes premium European bikes look like luxury jewelry. When a brand new entrant undercuts you by 80% on price and matches you on performance, the conversation changes. The self-balancing system is the technical signature of the bike. Traditional motorcycles are inherently unstable at 0 speed. Davinci's engineers took gyroscope technology from self-balancing robots and scaled it up. The 6-axis inertial measurement unit detects pitch, roll, and yaw, feeding real-time data to the motor controller. The rear wheel makes tiny corrective rotations, too small to see but fast enough to counteract tilt. The system can hold the bike upright indefinitely as long as the battery has charge. Even creeping through traffic at 5 kilometers per hour, the bike won't tip. That's a robotic solution applied to a transportation problem. The founder came from the autonomous vehicle industry, not motorcycle racing. They inherited no constraints, starting from a blank page. The carbon fiber chassis is another engineering achievement. Most motorcycles use steel or aluminum frames. High-performance bikes use aluminum alloy to save weight. Full carbon monocoques are rare. Ducati charges extra for carbon wheels. Davinci made the entire chassis from carbon fiber composite, aircraft-grade material engineering, dropping 20 kilograms compared to aluminum frames. This costs more to manufacture, which is why most brands avoid it. Davinci's bet is that volume manufacturing in China brings costs down enough to make it viable at $4,000. The factory in Hangzhou produces the chassis in-house, not buying from European suppliers. They own the entire production chain. That's the China manufacturing advantage: vertical integration, scale, and the ability to make expensive materials cheap. Davinci Motor was founded in 2015 by Liu Yinan. His background is in autonomous driving and robotics, not motorcycles. He worked on self-driving systems in Beijing before starting the company. The original pitch was to build an electric motorcycle that rode itself, but full autonomy proved too ambitious for a first product, so they scaled back to self-balancing with a human rider. The DC-100 launched in prototype form in 2018, taking 3 more years to reach production. The company hired engineers from the drone industry, EV battery sector, and robotics field, not from traditional motorcycle companies. The team's average age is under 35. They're not trying to preserve motorcycling's soul, they're trying to make a better machine. The bike ships with a companion app, offering real-time diagnostics, battery health monitoring, ride statistics, remote lock and unlock, and over-the-air software updates. That's standard for electric cars, but rare in motorcycles. Traditional bikes are mechanical. The DC-100 is a connected device that phones home. Davinci can push firmware updates to improve performance or fix bugs without owner intervention. The app also controls self-balancing sensitivity, letting riders adjust how aggressively the bike corrects for tilt. This software integration is borrowed directly from the EV playbook. Tesla taught the industry that cars can be computers on wheels. Davinci applied that lesson to motorcycles. Western motorcycle brands are still catching up on connectivity. Davinci launched with it baked in from day one. Range is limiting: 250 kilometers city, 150 highway. Usable for commuting but not touring. A gasoline bike goes 400 kilometers and refuels in 3 minutes. The DC-100 takes 2 hours on standard charging, 40 minutes on fast charging. That's the honest limitation. Electric motorcycles work great for urban riding and weekend trips, but struggle long distance. Infrastructure isn't dense in rural areas or much of the West. Davinci targets city commuters, young riders, and people wanting performance and tech over heritage and long-range capability. That's a deliberate trade-off. Battery technology will improve. Solid-state batteries will double range in 5 years. But today, the DC-100 is optimized for urban riders who rarely leave cities. For that customer, the price and performance are unbeatable. Why haven't electric motorcycles taken off in the West? 3 reasons: sound, culture, and infrastructure. Motorcycle enthusiasts love engine noise, the rumble of a Harley, the scream of a sport bike. Electric motors are silent. The culture around motorcycles ties to the combustion engine. Gasoline smell, exhaust heat, the ritual of shifting gears. Electric bikes erase that. They're faster, smoother, cleaner, but soulless to traditional riders. A hard gap to bridge. The third issue is infrastructure. The United States has 150,000 gas stations, but maybe 5,000 motorcycle-accessible fast chargers. China solved this by building charging networks first, with government mandates and subsidies. The West is doing it backwards. Davinci is betting that a new generation doesn't care about engine sound. They grew up with electric scooters, charge phones nightly, expect software updates. They want performance and convenience, not tradition. That demographic exists in huge numbers in China and is emerging in the West. Urban millennials and Gen Z seeing motorcycles as transportation, not lifestyle statements. For them, the DC-100 is exactly right. Fast, affordable, tech-forward, easy to live with. The self-balancing feature makes it more accessible to new riders. You can't drop it at a stoplight. That lowers intimidation and builds confidence. Davinci isn't taking share from Ducati. They're creating a new category for people who would never buy traditional bikes. Ducati's response has been silence. That's standard for legacy brands facing low-cost disruptors. BMW launched an electric scooter. Harley has the Livewire positioned as premium halo, not mass market. Zero Motorcycles builds excellent bikes at luxury prices. No major Western brand attempts competing with Davinci on price. They can't. Their cost structures don't allow it. They build in high-wage countries using expensive European suppliers with decades of brand overhead. Davinci builds in China with a young team and vertically integrated supply chain. The cost advantage is structural, not temporary. Unless Ducati moves production to Asia or accepts lower margins, they have no answer. Davinci has no heritage to protect. The DC100 isn't perfect. Range is limiting. Charging takes time. Design is polarizing. Some say it looks too aggressive, like a video game bike. Self-balancing adds weight and complexity. If it fails, you're stuck. The brand has no Western dealer network. Service and parts availability are unknowns. Early adopters will be beta testers. But every problem is solvable. Range improves with batteries. Charging gets faster. Reliability improves with iteration. Dealer networks get built if demand exists. The core proposition is sound. A high-performance electric motorcycle for $4,000. That value equation doesn't disappear. It gets stronger as technology matures. Ducati's problems are harder. They can't drop prices 80% or abandon brand identity. They're constrained by what made them successful. Davinci plans to export in late 2024, starting with Europe, then North America. Pricing hasn't been confirmed, but expect $6,000 to $8,000 in Western markets. Still half a Ducati. The challenge will be homologation, safety certifications, crash testing. That takes time and money. The company bets that self-balancing becomes a strong differentiator overcoming brand unfamiliarity. It's a visual hook, the bike that stands up by itself. YouTube reviews will do marketing. Early adopters will post videos. Word of mouth will spread faster than traditional advertising. The next test is whether they can scale production and maintain quality. This is bigger than one bike. Chinese companies no longer just manufacture Western designs cheaply. They design products competing on performance and undercutting on price. BYD did it with electric cars, Xiaomi with smartphones, DJI with drones, now Davinci with motorcycles. The pattern is identical. Identify a premium category dominated by Western brands. Build a vertically integrated supply chain in China. Hire young engineers unbound by old ways. Launch a product 70% as good at 30% price. Then iterate toward 100% as good at 40% price. Incumbents can't respond because their cost base is locked in. By the time they figure out how to compete, the Chinese brand owns the emerging segment. It happened with solar panels, batteries, and EVs. Now it's happening with motorcycles. The robotics engineer who borrowed from self-driving cars just built a motorcycle that humiliates Ducati's pricing and matches its performance. The future of motorcycling wasn't decided in Bologna or Munich. It was decided in Hangzhou by a team that never built a bike before.